The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Run 'em Wedge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, Nico Haan here. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
So we can recover our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful day here, a beautiful morning, I should say, in downtown Clearwater, 55 degrees, clear skies, going up to about mid-70s today. It's going to be just a gorgeous, gorgeous day.
You know, if you all have any questions or ideas for our show, you can reach me at Paige at TFNN.com.
And Nico at TFNN.com. And we certainly got a few nice emails today, which we'll read in the second segment. Number here is 877-927-6648. I wanted to bring up this study that we found in Natural Health Articles, and it's a study that proves organic and grass-fed meats are worth the price. And we've discussed this kind of ad nauseum in a sense, but I think it's important to realize that you do get what you pay for as far as in food.
And I think it's important, as Dr. McCullough points out in this article, that this is, research is showing this. You know, I have a lot of people, as you mentioned, that like to try and counterpoint that and say, oh, you're wasting your money. Well, it's just not true.
Yeah, I
and the
agree with
research
that.
is showing that.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people saying that it doesn't really matter what you eat, as long as you're getting the calories in, it's okay. But I don't think that's the case. A number of studies have confirmed that eating organic reduces your toxic load, as synthetic pesticides are not permitted in organic farming. And it's a well-established fact that toxic chemicals have the capacity to harm your health.
So much of what we've been saying forever and the way I work with my clients, it's really this simple. We don't have enough of what we do need, which is good whole food-based nutrition, because our soil is depleted. Yeah. And we have too much of what we don't need, which are these synthetic chemicals that are just completely blanketing our society today. It's in our food, it's in our water, it's in our clothing, it's in the air. So it is a good idea to start to look to reduce that load so that the body can stay healthier. Because the body is always seeking homeostasis, Nico.
That's a natural ability of the body to do it. Otherwise,
to get rid of the stuff it doesn't need and to bring in more what it does need to do work.
Yeah, and it just makes sense that if, we talk about a lot of times just, the mechanical objects like, say, a car. And it's supposed to run on premium fuel, and you put regular in it, and then you hear that clunking sound.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just makes more sense that even organic species like ourselves would be much more sensitive to the type of fuel that we have.
I agree with that 100%. So organics have fewer pesticides, folks, and higher amounts of valuable nutrients. Previous research, such as the meta-analysis that was cited in this article, and we won't go into the whole details, have shown that organic fruits and vegetables contain anywhere from 18 to 69% more antioxidants than conventionally grown varieties, many of which have been linked to health benefits and disease prevention in clinical studies.
Yeah. So last week I was talking about that I had bought some chicken from Publix, our local supermarket.
Yes.
And our experience eating that as opposed to what I generally eat with the chicken that I buy from a farm that are pasture raised.
Right.
So at the same time,
it's kind of like good, better, best.
Yeah, it is, in a sense. So I was at Publix that day, and I also bought some ribeyes, because they were just really good-looking ribeyes. They had a stack of them there, and I picked out the two best, and I figured, since I'm here, I'll pick up some ribeyes. I had ordered some ribeyes. That hadn't come yet either. It's coming this week. And so we cooked them, beautiful-looking steaks, a little larger than the ribeyes I get from Mark's. The natural foods that are New Zealand grass-fed beef, Kobe-type beef, really good stuff. So cooked it, delicious, tastes a little bit different, just like the chicken did, and gave me that same kind of feeling that the nutrients weren't quite in there. It's if you try to do this yourself, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what, but it feels like the food isn't alive like the food that we're used to.
Well, let's just take this another step.
Okay.
It's about trusting our intuition.
Okay.
And I do believe that that's kind of part of the new healthcare. The new healthcare is self-care.
Yes.
And self-care is trusting that intuition is valid. Science proves intuition. Science believes proves the placebo effect is effective 50% of the time. That's believing or knowingness that something works. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's cool that you were in tune, so to speak.
Well, it's something that I thought about many times and kind of an opportunity, and I still know that Green Wise, which is the kind of the clean version of meats.
The organic line at that grocery store,
these cattle are fed grain. I know that. It was a beautiful piece of meat, that's for sure. But it was different, and I'll be glad when the other ones come in. So it was just my own take on it. It's my own way of satisfying my own need to get the information to myself. And, to say I am on the right track. And, of course, I think if you do this with vegetables, especially if you're a vegetarian,
completely. A lot of vegetarians are dealing with toxins that are sprayed onto the vegetables as well. And let's just kind of give a little bit more support based on this article. See, still further, new research confirming clear health benefits of organic milk and meat. And this was a British Journal of Nutrition found clear differences between organic versus conventional milk and meat. It was said to be the largest study of its kind, this particular article.
Pretty cool.
That was cited. And, it kind of echoes previous studies, Nico. The largest difference in nutritional content was the fatty acid competition.
Yes.
I think we have an article that kind of discusses that.
Yeah.
We can bring that up in a little bit. Certain essential minerals and the antioxidants, but the fatty acid, meaning the omegas, right?
Yes. And my understanding is that the fatty acid omega-3 stays about the same. What is overriding, though, is the omega-6 and omega-9 are way blown out of proportion. And that's the extra fat that's in there. So you have the same anti-inflammatory omega-3 in there, but you have much more of the inflammatory omega-6. And we need that, but we need it in a ratio of 1-to-1, maybe 3-to-1. So,
but the ratio that's found in corn-fed, grain-fed animals,
15-to-1?
15, 20-to-1.
Even 30-to-1 if you go to the fast food places.
Oh.
Because they're treating that with wood, like we found out. They're putting other things in it that makes that ratio even more.
Exactly. So, this Dr. Seal, PhD, from this British Journal of Nutrition found some of the things that he's quoted in terms of these nutritional values. What we know, omega-3s are linked to reduction in cardiovascular disease, improved neurological development and function, and better immune function.
Yeah. So we're going to go on a break. I want to remind people I have a brand new Health Signals newsletters
It's
out
good
there.
stuff, guys.
Really good. Please pick that up. Also, our Primal Edge is coming. We've got a couple of letters that are emails.
I think we should
no
share
letters
that with
these
folks.
days, but emails. Yeah. We're going to go over after the break. But please pick up some Primal Edge. Take a look at my newsletter. Newsletter is $5 for each issue. That's $10 a month. The best bargain on the web here. And also, our Primal Edge is only $89 for a monthly service that gets to your door every single month. And this is a product you really need. So please stick around. Number here is 877-927-6648. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back. I'm Paige Clarke, and I'm with Nico and Haan, and we're living a primal lifestyle. You know, we mentioned that we want to kind of follow up on some of our letters, and first of all, folks, we appreciate hearing from you. We like knowing that you're enjoying the show and that you're getting good things that help you stay healthier and wealthier, stronger, live longer and stronger. Got a nice letter from one of our listeners, Jane. Jane, I love you, and I appreciate your feedback. She says, "Hi, Paige. I love your show. My husband, Gabe, and I watch you and Nico every weekend. We play catch-up. I take notes and review them routinely." She says, "Looking back, I've noticed you stopped your A to Z series.
Naughty girl.
Would you please consider bringing that back?" Bringing it back. Okay. Thank you to both of you for all you do. Jane, we love Primal Edge. No colds or flu here, and it gives us tons of energy to make it through our busy days.
Isn't that nice?
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah.
And yes, I will consider bringing the A to Z. And in fact, let me know what you think, but I think maybe I should start with X.
Yeah.
Z, X. I'm trying to think of something that begins with a Z, but I know.
Well, we have that outbreak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could actually talk about the...
Yeah.
that virus, but we will do that, and I appreciate your feedback, Jane.
Also got a interesting email from James. I don't know where he's from, but I recently ran across your product watching your show on TFNN. Great show, great network. I am currently a user of fulvic acid. I have done a fair amount of research, and in doing so, formed the belief that true fulvic acid should not contain trace minerals. We as humans are made up of only 13 different minerals, so why would it need 74? Well, we don't have 74. We have the vitamins and all the other things in there. I think there are only 13 minerals. I have also learned that having excess minerals in fulvic acid only clogs up the delivery system found in fulvic acid. I'm writing you to get your input on the matter and would be so kind if you give it.
Yeah, great, James. Well, we're glad you're enjoying our show. And we did actually contact, I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear them.
But we did contact our formulator, and we got some feedback from her. And let me just share with you what her comment was, because she is a biochemist, previous Merck employee, and considered to be one of the foremost researchers on fulvic humic.
I think she is, definitely, yeah. And to my understanding of fulvic and humic is what puts it in the cells, and fulvic is kind of the detoxer.
Well,
but I think both of them put some in for sure.
Right, and we've talked about the fact that fulvic humic acids are kind of nature's alchemic genius.
Yes.
Alchemy is the process of changing one substance to another.
Okay.
So alchemy is the body, the intuition of these substances to know how to recognize a good compound and recognize a dangerous one and help them escort the bad ones out of the body and to formulate new compounds that the body can use. But let's go ahead and read our chemist's response. And she said, Paige, thank you for your email. And while the number of elements used are participating in biochemical processes that have been identified as 21, but she says now it looks like 23,
It does change.
it is likely that not all the essential mineral elements necessary for human health have been identified. That makes sense to me. I mean, we're finding that in the science of phytochemicals. There are so many phytochemicals in plants.
In the periodic table, they were finding new things all the time, too.
Well, those are the elements, but
Yeah.
I'm saying the phytochemicals themselves, there's hundreds of thousands, and we haven't even scratched the surface of that. Necessary biochemical functions for trace elements most likely remain to be identified, and the determination of the importance of trace elements for human health and well-being should be considered a work in progress with some exciting advances likely in the future. She comments that she believes James, our letter writer, is using a fulvic isolate. Our company actually produces both a fulvic isolate and a regular fulvic solution. The fulvic isolate form is typically used more for detox. And comparatively, it does not provide the same nutritional benefit as a normal fulvic molecule can provide, which also includes detox benefits too. And a fulvic isolate is generally not used continually because it does bind nutritional elements and thus can remove them from the body. So the fulvic isolates are things that we use as practitioners for people that are really trying to detox and they need that additional grabbing of the toxins
But
out of
it's
the
not
body.
something that you're going to use on a daily basis.
It's not recommended, but
Right.
fulvic acid, the fulvic and humic together. I think of the humic as being the black water.
Right.
That's what really adds the color.
Right.
And there's a lot, you know, it's kind of like when you're in a creek and you take a scoop of the water in the creek. If you hold it up, you're going to see
All
matter.
the sediment in there,
Yeah, the old soil, the broken down moss, and
Right.
so forth. So I think it's important to realize that the combination of the two can be very powerful. And the way that the fulvic acid has that ability to know how to form the right compounds is a really beautiful benefit. I hope you will continue, James, to use fulvic acids. And if you would like further information, perhaps I can send you some research on the form that we chose because it had the highest benchmarks. I think you might enjoy that. So hope to hear from you, James, and thanks for giving us your feedback.
I don't know a lot about the chemicals and things. I learn a lot from you. I learn a lot about that from our supplier and, of course, the research that we're both doing. It's a complicated field, so I'm relying on the experts for sure. And
we're lucky to have an expert that helped in formulating this product and the research on fulvic acids. I mean, the drug companies, folks, have been looking at these guys for a long time for drug delivery systems. And so the NIH and PubMed has a lot of information on fulvic acids, and you can feel assured that the delivery system we use for Primal Edge is taking advantage of that alchemic genius.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Another article I found, and this was in grasslandbeef.com, and it was called Hidden Fat Triggers Heart Disease. And soda puts you at risk for health problems like metabolic syndrome. This is a collection of symptoms that can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic diseases like cancer. But the latest research now reveals that sodas are a major cause of visceral fat. That's the deadly kind of fat you can have that inflames your tissues. It's the kind of fat that's around your belly. It goes around the organs and things like that.
So we're talking about metabolic syndrome X, folks, and we consider in natural health, metabolic, or traditional health too, metabolic syndrome X is really a four-legged stool. And when these symptoms, the dysregulation of insulin, elevated blood glucose, elevated triglycerides, and elevated cholesterol, what we're seeing is the body has lost its ability to remain homeostatic. We were talking about that.
Yes. Yeah.
The body is desperately out of homeostasis, and it's a sign that the conditions are ripe for disease.
And this is a nice little article that talks about this particular fat, which is a real problem. But you can see how our lifestyle, our modern way of living with the types of food that are out there, whether you're doing the fast food or just making things from the normal SAD diet, the diet that most people are on in America, the standard American diet.
Yes.
And the dysfunction of the fats, the elevation of the omega-3s, the highly inflammatory ones. Then you put in chemicals like pesticides. Then you take out certain fats that may be good for us and put in salts that are not good for us, put in fillers like wood, other things.
The body sure has a lot to do, doesn't it?
It's got a lot to do.
And it needs an alchemic genius like the Primal Edge.
And that's why the Primal Edge was really invented, because
Exactly.
we were brainstorming about this. So, folks, we're going to continue this conversation. We have another segment coming up, so please stick around. You can also call us at 877-927-6648. And we have a special amount and a special little announcement at the end of the show of what we're going on our local radio show here today.
Absolutely.
So we'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Thanks for sticking around. We are continuing a conversation about this visceral fat. Get that out there. You want to continue with that?
Yeah, well, I think the key point we were talking about, you open the article with the fact that diet sodas and so forth really are a big, they're very heavily implicated in creating this syndrome X or metabolic syndrome X, which is, really the root of where most diseases start. It's really these hidden fats, the triglycerides that are elevated in the blood as a result of sugars.
Yeah.
And I like to, you made the comment, we have this apple belly when we have visceral fat.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, you can kind of take a look at people and see when they're carrying their weight around this central obesity, this is quite dangerous. This is fat that's wrapping around the organs. And this fat tends to make you feel firm. You see a guy with a belly that looks like they're going to bust. This is a sign that the body is storing visceral fat. And visceral fat is actually an active organ. It produces a lot of stress hormones like cortisol.
Really?
Yeah. So it's really important to help yourself lose the visceral fat. And, so you see some of these women that have fat on their hips and butts, that's more of an endocrine issue. But when you see the visceral fat, the apple shape, that's more of a sign that this is putting stress on the central organs, which is not good.
And it's the fat, the combination with these empty calories of carbohydrates like the sodas, juices, and things like that, that really bring this whole kind of syndrome about.
Yeah, let me read this. You see, this type of dangerous fat is not a passive repository of energy. It actually functions as an active organ, exactly what I said, that emits hormones and other chemicals, some of them extremely dangerous, such as cortisol, the stress hormone, which, when left unchecked, wreaks havoc on your immune system and causes the inflammation at the root of most all disease. So that's pretty scary.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed on here, because we talk about sugar, glucose, but also we often mention fructose. And normally, when sugar is consumed, glucose is absorbed into the bloodstream for energy and driven into your body's tissue with the help of insulin. So it's insulin that pushes it into the fat cells.
Takes the key and opens it up.
However, but fructose takes a different path. Most of it goes straight to the liver, where it stimulates the production of triglycerides. It's a build of the excess triglycerides to the liver that leads to the NAFLD.
That's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is epidemic now. Why? Because of sugars.
Yeah, and it kind of does look like the guy that is the heavy drinker too.
Yeah.
And I would assume that alcohol, which is kind of a carbohydrate, but it's kind of almost a separate entity in itself because it has more calories than normal carbohydrates. I think it has 7 instead of the 4. And that would be a huge problem if you're a drinker continuously. And
well, we're seeing this sclerosis, cirrhosis, and so forth of liver failure and even death is happening to people as a result of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. But again, think of these processed sugars, the body's inability to deal with them. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, women with a waist measurement of 40 inches or more and men with a waist of 35 actually are more at a greater risk of having health problems as a result of too much visceral fat. That's interesting. Yeah. I think that's a reverse. I think they actually typed that wrong. I think it's men.
Yeah, I was going to ask you why it would be that women could.
I think this is incorrect. They're talking about women over a 35-inch waist and men over a 40, but maybe not. The bottom line is when your waist expands, you're expanding your risk of disease. Yeah. And we need to get it under control.
And the last thing in here says sodas, of course, are just part of the problem, albeit a big part. I recommend my patients cut all processed foods, refined sugars from their diet, and dramatically reduce their carbohydrate intake. Ideally, the bulk of your daily diet should be grass-fed or free-range meats and proteins, as well as organic vegetables and fruits, and to ensure you're getting the right balance of nutrients, fatty acid, and antioxidants.
And this is written by Dr. Al Sears, very excellent doctor in terms of helping us to return to more of a primal way of living.
He's kind of like your soulmate, I think, in a way. You know.
We have a lot of similarity in our thinking. I really do think so, and I appreciate his work greatly. So, along that same line, while we're talking about fats and they're linked to heart disease and so forth, we just identified that a lot of these trans fatties and the elevated triglycerides, fats in the blood, are a result of sugars, carbohydrates.
There was a large study done, and this is a real list of lots of things, saying the meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal found no association between high levels of saturated fat in the diet and heart disease. And this is now being proven over and over. There was a study in Sweden, there was a study in Germany, now we're having a study in Britain. United States doesn't do a lot of these studies. Anybody know why?
There's a lot of a lot of industry there, but it's really true, folks. It's the trans fats, not the saturated fat, that raises your heart disease risk.
And the trans fats are these fats that we made many years ago after the Second World War.
The hydrogenated vegetable oils.
Yeah.
The ones that have a long shelf life.
Yeah, and they wanted these liquids really to be solid, so they added the hydrogen to make them solid. They ended up with this gray compound,
because of the nickel. There's actually the element of nickel in the margarine, and they actually dye it to make it look yellow.
Maybe you could actually chrome it,
But we also make trans fats, folks, when we take these vegetable oils that are not designed to be heated on high heat.
And that's a thing that's not really out in the mainstream. You get these liquids that are called vegetable oils, made from grains or nut oils, and when they enter your body, that's what happens. They turn into the trans fat.
Well, you stop and think about our bodies. Our bodies are heated.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't eat margarine, and I don't eat hydrogenated Crisco or whatever." But if you're eating out in restaurants over and over and over again, you don't have control over what type of fat these restaurants are cooking the foods in. That's why
especially if they're frying the foods.
Yes.
When they're frying the foods, they're mostly using the soy oils. The good ones are saying, well, I don't use soy, I use peanut oil. Peanut oil, not a great one either. I mean, that's a high acid, very, very bad. So lard was the thing that was used for many, many years in frying. McDonald's started that way. I know Tom O'Brien, when he had his pizza place in Boston, he always used lard for frying things. So, that was the standard. And it was even in Twinkies many, many years ago, and now it's cottonseed oil that's in the Twinkies.
Oh, yeah, and that's just nasty. But I want to share what happens when you replace saturated fats with carbs. So many people are running from natural saturated fats, fearful that those are the cause of heart disease. And I submit that, it's not the saturated fats that are natural in their state, but it's some of these things we're doing to other fats. But here are the health consequences, because they're significant, and they include the following. You see a shift to overall atherogenic lipid profiles, meaning you're going to see lower HDL on your lab work, you're going to see a raising of your triglycerides, and you're going to see an increase in the ratio of the ApoB and ApoA. If your doctor's not doing this kind of lab work, you're not getting the right information. You're going to have an increased risk of coronary heart disease, cardiovascular events, and death from heart disease increases all levels of mortality. You're going to have an increased thrombogenic markers in your blood.
What does that mean?
Well, that means thrombosis is like clotting, making you more at risk for stroke. You're going to have an increase in the oxidized LDL. If your doctor's only doing the total, you're not getting that information. Your inflammation marker is going to be elevated, and your HDL is going to be low. You're going to have small density lipoprotein, and you're going to have an increased risk for cancer.
Good luck with that.
So let's remove those bad fats, and we're going to be back in just after the break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Did you know exercising your mind may be just as important as exercising your body? Adding brain teasers and learning activities that support mental agility to your weekly routine not only boost your memory, but can also protect against aging and certain types of dementia and improve the quality of your life in your mature years.
And we got to be paying attention to that stuff. We want to stay fit on the inside as well as the outside.
Mature years. At least I am.
You know what? I don't even like to think that. But I guess we are.
Yeah,
we need to take care. Here's another one of those little alliterations I like. We want to be conscious of nurturing our nimble neurons. How about that? NNN.
I like my neurons.
Yeah, staying mentally active, folks, throughout your life is essential to keeping your memory sharp and your brain in the best shape possible. Okay. And this can be doing things like reading, crossword puzzles, crafts, brain teasers. It really makes a big impact to do different things.
My wife, Ellen, starts her morning, and she cannot go out the door unless she does a few brain teasers and the puzzle. She has to do this. In fact, when she's out of town, I save the newspapers when she's gone so she can have them there.
See, that's sharp. Well, we know Ellen's a sharp woman. She's an attorney. And but see, we always pay attention to those that are, we learn from people that are successful and what do they do and what are their habits. And that's exactly what we need to do. That's one of the first things of these 5 tips is to learn something new. And research has shown that people who continually learn new things throughout their life are less likely to develop Alzheimer's and dementia. So kick your mental fitness a step up and go outside of your comfort zone.
It says here, if you literally knit with your eyes closed, try something that requires an entirely different set of skills, like glass blowing, speaking Portuguese, or salsa dancing. Well, a little extreme there. I don't know if you're going to wake up in the morning and find the glass blowing machine right next to you or not. But
even, walking on the bridge, how we love that bridge, and oftentimes people have told me, Paige, I saw you. What the heck were you doing on the bridge? But I'll do things like run backwards or run sideways or take my legs and do the scissor run. When we do things opposite of what we normally do, it forces us to use different brain cells, right?
And we always get into these little routines that we do, so what you're saying, that's good to shake it up every now and then.
Shake it up a little bit, and let's challenge ourselves.
Okay.
Or challenge ourselves. Games and activities that involve multiple tasks. So perhaps some multitasking here or there is really good for the brain. And so it requires organization and interaction. It appears to deliver the greatest protection against cognitive decline.
It also says here, add variety to your routine.
Like you just said, spice it up. Shake it up a little bit.
Take your dog to a different park, shop at a grocery store that you're not familiar with, find a new health food store, I would say. Take a different route to work or school. I often do this, and it's kind of intuition almost to change things every once once in a while.
It makes it fun.
Yeah, one of the things, funny story, when Ellen and I first got married, one of my habits always was in my own home was every once in a while change the furniture around.
Oh, yeah.
And,
is that when you come home late at night and stuff over?
Well, it wasn't that
Like Dick
bad.
Van Dyke.
Yeah, all of a sudden she came home, and we were actually living in her home down in Miami Shores when we first got married. And I decided, I was home early one day, and I just moved everything around. She comes in, and she was shocked. And she didn't mind it, but she says, please, next time, warn me ahead of time, because my brain works in a different way than yours does.
Right.
You know, so now if I do that, and we have our house set up the way we want it now, so I don't move a lot of things, and I do that at work every now and then. But it's a little joke, it's a little joke that we have. That, you know, I remember the first time she was freaked out, but now I've learned to call her, honey, I've changed a couple things.
Yeah, be aware.
It's all right. But,
yeah, so really get your heart pumping is one of the 4th tips here. A combination of physical and mental exercise is the best recipe
there's
for
no
preventing
doubt
decline.
about that. There's often I go to jiu-jitsu and I say, you know, I don't feel like going. I kind of force myself to be here. I'm not going to do a lot today, and I do just a couple of little routines, and I'm right in there, and all of a sudden I feel better, and then we continue with the normal thing. So it does. Shaking it up, moving around, it's a huge thing. If you're kind of in a fog, that's the thing to do. Maybe get on a little mini tramp, walk around the block, whatever it takes.
Yeah, and the studies show that they found improvements in the brain health of older people, with just 40 minutes 3 times a week. And I like to tell people, sometimes when they hear the number 40 minutes, I say, why don't you just say, I'm going to walk away from my house for 20? Well, you got to walk back. So there's your other 20.
There you go.
And you don't think of that big number of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And finally,
and commits to something every day, and that's a good thing too. And one of the most important things that I learned when I was a kid, play. Playing is a lost art in our society today.
well, you know what? I've been going to the playground with my grandson, and I
wonderful.
thought about, right near our house.
Yeah.
God, the weather's so nice,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about the primal moves that a child makes. It's no structured exercise. It's just playing on the playground. So,
and that's a lost art, and that's what we need to do it as adults. And playgrounds are wonderful for adults too. I mean, I wish that we had some, and we do have a few exercise spots here and there where you can go and hang from things and swing from things. But we need more of this.
Yes.
We need more of this for adults, because the adults aren't swinging, they aren't playing. They're just doing the serious stuff, and too much serious stuff is not good for the old brain. It's not good for your body. It's not good for anything, I think.
My great-grandmother used to say, honey, don't take yourself so seriously. Isn't that a good piece of advice?
Yeah.
So, but we live in a world of apps, and there are, in fact, some great apps that can help get you on track. So if you are an app person and you want to get going with keeping yourself nimble in this way, there's an app called Luminosity you might want to download, and this app does a great job of gamifying your brain workout. Another one called Memrise, a free app that offers a variety of learning lessons, starting with just a few minutes a day.
And then we have the CogFit Brain Training. This app customizes a brain training regime to suit your individual needs. CogFit offers a selection of games designed by neuroscientists to refine your memory and concentration skills. So that's called CogniFit, COGNIFIT, brain training.
Yeah, it really is. In aging adults, this kind of boost to mental acuity that comes with just short bursts of mental exercises is huge. And I say it's really one of the reasons children grow so fast with their brains. They're constantly learning new things because they're new in the world, right?
Yeah, and the best part is brain training is fun, so it's not only good for the brain, but it's also healthy for your heart and soul. And this is so true. Back when I was in training to be a sales rep and doing training sessions and getting trained, I was researching all these different improvement, like Tony Robbins and all these things,
Personal development.
Personal development. So I was really heavy into it, and at that time I was working for Waste Management, and I was dating this girl, and she comes over to the house and she looks at all these books. She says, geez, you have all this self-improvement. She says, I'm not really into self-improvement at all. That was the last time I saw her.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's a strange
Kind of turned you
thing.
off, huh?
It did turn me off in a way, because here I was really pursuing that, and then I was dating this gorgeous girl, and we had so much in common, and all of a sudden that kind of dropped the whole thing on me, and I said, geez, if you don't want to improve yourself, what are you doing? You know, it was just an indication to me that I was on the wrong path dating her. So I don't know, how, you know.
Yeah, I think we have to feel like we have some common ground, and
that's a common ground that's really basic to me. You know, I'm always trying to find something that's better. Not that I think I'm not doing great. I think I am doing great, and I'm always feeling great. But I'm always trying to tweak that.
I think that that's really what we're here for, is to figure out why we're here. But I know why you're here and why we're here. We're here to live longer, stronger, healthier, and wealthier, because your health is your true wealth, folks. Yep. So we're going to go on a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about the little weed renowned for treating almost everything. So I'll see you in just a break.
We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
And welcome back. So I'm talking a little bit about the little weed renowned for treating almost everything. And I don't know if Al can show on the telestrator. Here's a little weed. And, you know, we look at this little weed, and when I look at this, it looks a lot like dandelion. In fact, we'll learn it kind of hangs out with dandelion. This picture and this article kind of reminds me a little bit of Bill Hicks, the comedian. Okay. His famous speech called "It's Just a Ride."
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
with that.
We'll have to show that.
Yeah.
Bill Hicks' thing is it's just a ride. And he says, you know, we have people that have come back to say, hey, don't worry, life is just a ride. Enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way of looking at things.
But he says in his thing, he says, and then we kill those people. You know, thinking about the people that have been, you know, that were trying to wake up people.
Yeah.
And so I think about the dandelion, the plantain, as we see here. And we kill these weeds, and yet they can do everything. I mean, we've been, in our well-manicured yards, we run around with a bottle of Roundup or Monsanto's Roundup, which we now know is one of the most devastating chemicals on the face of the earth, responsible for more disease, causing, in my opinion, disruption to our microbiome than could ever be said. But so when you see these little weeds, realize they may actually be something that can actually save your life. And this is the plantain. This is the plantain, and it's been used to, to help address issues when you get bit by mosquitoes or bug bites. It has an astringent nature. It helps to pull toxins and poisons out of the body. And can be used for acne, glass splinters. It really is something that you can have in your emergency kit. So when you see these weeds sometimes in your yards, think about it. It was kind of interesting what the article said was it mostly grows in poor, rocky soils, and you frequently find it alongside the dandelion. It kind of looks like it. Or growing in construction sites and gravel pits. The Native Americans, our primal ancestors, named it the white man's foot.
Because they noticed that it sprung up where the Europeans disrupted the soil.
So it may actually be something that appears in a way to bring things back to balance, back to that homeostasis that we've been talking about. Nature is a lot smarter than we
so were the Native Indians. I often refer back to this little picture, and the Indians are just going along, and they see these big wagon tracks just cutting through, and of course those things disrupt everything, and they say, don't go that way, that's the white man's way, and it ruins everything. You look back at our path, and all you see is a little couple of hoof prints or maybe footprints, and that goes away very quickly, where the wagon tracks don't. It's so I just thought about that. Here is something trying to make a big impression, coming up in a little dirt crack, and trying to give us a message that things are out of balance, and then we go and we pull those weeds. It reminds me, years ago I was in a class, a horticulturist was talking, and we were talking about poisons and spraying and things like that, but how to make things grow. And he says, it just breaks my heart to see all these roads and paved roads. He says, you go into the woods and you see a small little path that's made by a rabbit, and the rabbits take the same path every day, and a little rabbit that weighs mere ounces makes a path, and these trees just bend out of the way, and the soil is disrupted. Imagine what these 18-wheelers do that are running down the road to all this vegetation, disrupting everything, disrupting not only the fauna,
blowing the stinky fumes of petrochemicals into the air.
But it's just the rumbling of that, and the picture in my head of this little rabbit making a track, and then an 18-wheeler making a track is a hugely different thing. So.
Well, there you go. So, maybe life is just a ride. Maybe we should do it. So those of you who have some time today, just humor me and Google Bill Hicks, the comedian. Life is just a ride. See what you think.
And the last thing I wanted to mention, we're going to be on a local station starting this Sunday at 5 a.m. I know it's early, but I'm going to be tuning in. It's 1250 on the dial here, locally AM, and our show is starting there. So
so if you're local, listen in and give us your feedback.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for sticking around.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.